guys, it's Gina. I wanted to just go through the supplies that I'm going to use for this video today. These are just a couple of things that I pulled out. I don't exactly know where I'm going, which is normal, but so this is what I'm going to use. So I pulled out some of this Finnabar Art Ingredients Glass Glitter in Velvet. So it's like a green color. I hope you can see that. I'm playing with the lights still. So I have some embossing powder from, I think it's from, yeah, Ranger. This is Rose Quartz. I have some of these mini prills in this, I'm sure there's a, it's called Lettuce. I have some of these mini prills in what they call Tutu Pink. Then some old embossing powder. It's a light green glitter embossing powder. I have these acrylic paints. One in metallic lime peel and the other in metallic vintage rose. I have some light modeling paste. I have this chipboard shape from Blue Fern Studios. It's called Beaded Flourish. And then I have a number of stickers here for my title. I don't use a lot of green in my scrapbooking because I don't tend to like the color, but I thought, you know, I'm going to challenge myself today. So I have some of these stickers. Mostly all of my stickers are really old because I don't buy them anymore because I have stacks and stacks and stacks of them. But this is from Dear Lizzie. It's called Bliss. This one's called Sparkling, and this is the Eclair font from Stickers, but I don't know what the color is. They don't give you a color. Like, these are from, is there a date on these? No, but they're old, let me just tell you. So I've got those. I've got some bling and some green. I got some brads and some pink. I got these little hearts from Oh Dear Me, the Lawn Fawn. No, it's Freckled Fawn. I always get those confused. Some little epoxy hearts. I don't know. I have a stencil from Prima. I have a selfie, which is the picture that I'm going to scrapbook. I don't take a lot of selfies, so I'm going to, these are pictures that I printed that I want to scrapbook, but that one is the one I'm going to work on today. And then I have this piece of paper from Blue Fern Studios. It's from their Love Story collection. It's called Calling Cards, but I'm not using this side. I'm going to use this pink sort of wood grain paper. And then I have this pack of paper from DCWV. I got this at Tuesday morning. I bought a bunch of them. I really love this. Because if you take a look, it's called a premium paper collection. And I guess it's like if you want to, you know, do coordinating papers for things. But it comes in these packages. I already pulled this one out. This one came in here. But so it's 5 pieces of 8.5 by 11 paper. And they come in 12 by 12s as well. If you might have seen me use one of the 12 by 12s on a different layout I just created. But, so this one, do they give them names? It just says premium stack. It doesn't really say, but it comes with this green burlap. And then it has this foil sheet. It's got little triangles on it. I don't know if you can, yeah, this lighting's not going to work much better than my last one, so I'll have to work on that. So I've got some foil. And then this is fabric, I think. It says burlap foil glitzy glitter. This is the UV gloss with all these cute little butterflies. And I think in the last one that I used of this, pardon this noise. Yeah, this is like a fabric. This one isn't like the other one. Let me see. It's just a textured, it's textured paper. It almost feels vinyl-y. So, maybe we'll use that. Who knows? So, that is where I'm going to start. Hey guys, so I'm going to walk you through this video. I made a huge mess with the embossing powder on that die cut. So, I just cut that out of the video. But all I did was I just added some embossing, you know, the Versamark ink to the chipboard. And then I covered it with some green embossing powder. And then I heat set it with my heat gun. No big deal there. I am cutting out the photo that I'm going to scrap today, and I showed you the background paper that I'm going to use, and I of course cut off the branding strip of that. And I'm actually going to scrapbook this selfie, which I think I talked about in the intro to the video. And I am actually, you're going to see a lot of hand movements here because I thought that I would do this video in real time, but that never works for me. So you're going to see a lot of hand movements because I'm talking, but I decided to just go with the voiceover because later on I forget that I'm supposed to be talking, and then it just becomes dead air there for a long time. You guys know I do that all the time. So my thought with this is that I put the die cut down on the background paper, and I marked portions of it because I want to go down the lines that are part of this background paper, and I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to add some water to it to kind of loosen up the paper, I don't know, fibers, I guess you'd call them, because I want to make these little sort of torn out parts where this sort of wood grain lines are. So you can see me doing that there. And then I realized that the cuts that I made are not long enough. So I'm going to use my scissors. You'll see in a minute. I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to make them longer. See, it's not, I want them to extend above that chipboard. So I'm going to use my scissors. I'm just going to cut them longer. I'm going to add water to them again, and then I'm going to distress them a bit as I did originally. Just like that. I've seen this technique done on another channel, and I cannot remember her name right now. I really love what she does with background paper and making texture with background paper, and if I remember to do it, I will link her in the description below, because I really like how she manipulates background paper to give it texture. So I will definitely share that, or at least try to. And then I decided, okay, not only were these cuts not long enough, but there weren't enough of them. So here I'm going to go through the same process. I'm going to cut this background paper up. I'm going to add some water. The water just helps to break down, like I said, those paper fibers so that they're more malleable. So you can sort of distress them better. I think in the end I probably distressed this inner part a little bit too much, but it turns out just fine at the end of it. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want that chipboard piece to go and my photo. And there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. And now I'm looking at papers that I want to back this with, because obviously you need something to look at through those slits in the paper. So I decided there's a black piece of paper that came in this. This is Prima, I believe, this paper collection. And so I decided on the background paper, but I wanted to do the dimensional stuff as part of my front page first. So I'm adding some I think that's Prima's as well, the soft gel, just to add some texture. And I am going to slow the video down here and show you, I added some glitter to it. So while the modeling paste was still wet, I went over it with some glitter, so it gives it a little bit of a shine here that you can see. There we go. That might be overkill with the slowing the video down to show you, and you can also see how I distress those lines. So of course I heat set this. I dried it with my heat gun, and now the background is looking pretty good to me. Just gonna add this back on the page so I see what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna work on, I showed you this stack of papers in the intro. So I'm just pulling out some of those that I think I'm going to use. And I think I'm going to stick with this very vibrant green and this purple. So I'm just going to cut out enough of this purple. I don't know what I was doing there, cleaning off my palette knife for some reason. I'm trying to keep my work desk neat while I'm scrapping, which is a complete joke, but I'm trying. But this is some fabric. Almost like burlap that came in that pack, and I'm just trying to distress it up a little bit. This burlap, the fibers were very tight together, and with the adhesive that came already on the back of it, it was really hard to get those strings out like I wanted. So it's taking a little bit of time to manipulate here, and then it's too big and I've got to manipulate it again, take some more of those fibers out just to give me that sort of, ripped edge, with the frayed is the word I'm looking for, frayed edges. So I'm going to back my paper with that, I'm going to back my picture with that purple glitter paper, and then I'm going to lay that on top of this burlap. So it'll look like that. Now I'm going to pull out some paints from Prima. This is from the Fin collection, and I always just pull. There were a couple of parts of that background, that chipboard, that didn't get embossing powder on it very much, so I just used the paints and put them down. And I always put my mediums right on, on a palette or something like that because, ooh, sorry, I hit the microphone, on a palette or something like that because I don't like to dip back in to the, what am I trying to say? The bottle, because then I'll have like cross-contamination and that would just be bad. So I'm going to use this paint, this green, and then I'm going to spray it with water to, what do you call that? Thin it down so it'll run a little bit. So that's what I'm doing there. And I really like my desktop here is glass. And for a long time I couldn't figure out how to be able to work straight on the glass surface without getting that huge glare. So I started to light my work surface from the side, as you can see where the shadows are, and so I didn't have that direct overhead, and then I can work right on this glass surface, which turns out really nicely. It looks nice, but I think I'm going to need a light on the other side. You see how the left side is kind of dark, so I think I'm going to need that. So I'm going over this embossing, this modeling paste with these two colors, sticking with the lime green and the soft pink, and I need a little bit more pink because I'm going to go through each of these stripes, I guess, that are on the paper, like these wood grain portions. And I'm just going to drop some paint along those, and then I'm going to take the green and do the same thing just in the inside of there, just to give the background a little bit more color. I do like that background paper, but I have a habit of just covering that all up. So here we go. So I'm happy with the background now. I'm happy with how my layers are going to go. And now it's time, I think, oh, here, now we're going to put that background onto a piece of paper to act as a, that you're going to see through those tears in the background paper. So I picked this dark black because I thought it looked good. And then I'm just using that sort of very strong adhesive to put it down. And what I typically do, because I wanted to get it as straight as possible, and sometimes I don't put it down correctly, is I just put it down on one side and then pull those back, pull that adhesive strip off and then do the other side. So it helps me a little bit it helps me to get it straighter on that background paper. But you saw I still had to trim it up a little bit, so. And now I thought I might use this ribbon, but I'm going to get rid of that because I feel like I need a horizontal element. I have lots of vertical elements with those cutouts on the page, but I feel like I need a horizontal element, so I'll get to that in a minute, but that's what I was doing there. And now we're going to jump a little bit. I'm going to cut out some of those butterflies from that pattern paper. And here I'm looking for some die cuts and things to use on the page. And I struggled with that bling sort of, what do you call those things? Swirls a lot. So I just cut all that out because you guys didn't need to watch that. And so here's some what do you call that stuff? Punchinella, something like that, that I bought, and it's that same lime green color, so I'm going to lay that down, and that's going to give me my horizontal element, but unfortunately it doesn't go across enough, so you'll see later on I'm going to actually extend it. So here's some Prima flowers that I've had in my stash for God knows forever. And I'm just playing with things here. I sped this video up in this portion up to 800 times. 8 times, I guess, is the real way of saying that. 8 times faster than I'm actually working here, because even though I want to show you my process of putting all of my embellishments and stuff in there, it does take a long time to figure out where all of these embellishments are going to go, and I don't want to bore you with all of that. I want you to see it, but I don't want to bore you with, placement and all that, because this is, and I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but for me, this is the longest part of doing a layout, is trying to figure out where the embellishments are going to go, what I want to use where, and you'll see this. So I definitely decided right away on that lime green flower, and then of course I wanted to add some pink flowers to it, and I'm just playing with other things. And you might have seen here, I'm using cardboard, like that you get like just in like UPS boxes and things, to add as my dimension behind my photos and my embellishments, because because if you've seen my previous videos, I add those adhesive dots, the adhesive foam dots that, add that dimension all over the back of my layers that I want raised up. So this works better because I don't have to, I just hot glue it on there and it's done. I don't have to put those little adhesive dots everywhere and then just pull them. I still use them occasionally for smaller things, but for my photos and layers and things like that, I tend to use that cardboard now. And I've been watching a lot of mixed media scrapbooking on YouTube, and that was something that I just picked up from a whole host of scrapbookers that do mixed media kind of layouts. So that's where that came from. I've had these little rhinestone leaf kind of things in my stash since I started scrapbooking in 2008. So I guess it's time to use some of those. And I love hot glue because I put it down, it's stuck, life is good, it won't move. But then there's the negative to hot glue in that it's stuck and it won't move. So I put that, you saw I put that gem down there, and now I don't like it. But it's there and it's not going anywhere, so we're going to keep it there. I put this little, that's one of the butterflies that I cut out of that pattern paper, and I'm just adding some rhinestone blings down the center to kind of add a tail, and then that center part of the butterfly where their wings connect. And then I'm going to add this small little camera. It's from Prima. It's one of their resin kind of cameras. There's another one of those butterflies I'm going to add in there. And just again, adding embellishments. I thought the camera was appropriate because this is a selfie. So, and I don't take a whole lot of selfies. And I have to tell you, taking a selfie is not easy for me. I don't know, I put my finger over the camera all the time. So I have a ton of pictures of my fingers. Here's another butterfly. Couple more butterflies, little things that I'm adding. And then I decided on that wood veneer hello to be my title, but it's kind of floating now, so I feel like I need to add something to it. Here's a couple of rhinestone dots that I'm adding, just going through the things that I pulled out. I always go through and shop in my scrapbooking room before I start a layout, and you saw it in the beginning where these are the things that I chose. But I always scrapbook in the beginning of my layout, so I have all this stuff on my desk, and sometimes I don't use it, and sometimes I have to go find more stuff. It's just a matter of whatever. So you'll see here that I added some of that punchinella to make a horizontal element where my title can sit, and I also added another small little camera that I backed with that pink glitter paper, and you'll see it. And I didn't show it here either, but I added some, you can see those small little round, I don't remember what they call them now, Perels, I think. But I added them around the page as well and added some ribbon to the tag. So there it is, the end of the layout. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.